Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another SWAC volleyball tour. As you know, we have been gathering all the coaches throughout the Southwestern Athletic Conference to get the introductory level and the growth level, if you will, of Southwestern Athletic Conference volleyball. We have been joined today by the leader of the Lady Jaguars of Southern University, and that is none other than Coach Vanessa Jacobs. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we are mighty glad to have you on board, and we want to thank you for giving up of some of your busy schedule and time to be a part of our program and our project here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We look forward to the growth and the continued success on all the programs involved. Now, Coach, for those who might not be aware of who Vanessa Jacobs is and what is her story, how about doing an introductory and letting people know how you ended up here at Southern University?
Well, just to give you a little background, I'm born and raised in California, played volleyball, basketball, softball, ran a little track, but not very much. I went to a junior college. I come from a huge family, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to leave California. After my stint for 2 years at junior college playing volleyball and basketball, I decided it was time to move away, and I got an offer from LSU. Loved my entire time here in the South, and played basketball for a year after my eligibility was complete at LSU. And after I graduated, I started a family, started working in human resources, and probably about 8 years after starting with human resources, I started coaching club, and I started to enjoy and love, and I remembered the passion that I had for the sport, and I just made a leap, decided to quit my job, started coaching at some camps, heard about this position that was available, and interviewed for it. So I've been coaching club and coaching here for the last 8 years, 4 years as the assistant coach, and the last 4 years as the head coach.
Wow, so what a transition, and you could probably shed a little light on how we here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network have been, investigating and dealing with it with the sporting background. I have a daughter who's involved in club volleyball. I have a couple of sons that played baseball, and another daughter played basketball. And for those who might not be familiar exactly what club volleyball is, it is equivalent to AAU basketball and select baseball. And in a nutshell, a lot of the clubs start off meaning well, and then all of a sudden, dollar signs fill the eyes, and they begin to start selling all these visions and pipe dreams that I call them, that if your child joins this club, that club, or this club, then they'll increase their chances of scholarships. What are the truths and what are the myths to that?
You know, I can only go by what I know, what I've seen. There are some clubs that are huge. There's a club in Chicago. They have probably 8 to 10 teams just in the 18s realm. In the 16s realm or age group, it's probably a little bit more than that. You're almost guaranteed, if you play for particular clubs, to get a Division I scholarship, because they're just known for being able to train their athletes very well. And those kids are dedicated to that club and the process of getting better in hopes of getting to the next level. They have parents who believe in what those coaches and the club directors are telling them. And so, yeah, they've gotten pretty big over the years. Some kids start off as developmental leagues or clubs, and then as they develop, other clubs will take notice and, offer their parents a dream, if you will.
So I'm hearing you, it depends on if you lined up with the right club. It could be truly a great training tool and an inside track toward and you stress in particular Division I volleyball play.
Yes, I mean there's clubs. You can be on the fourth team and still get a scholarship, and we're talking NAIA Division III, Division II, not necessarily Division I. And some of them are good enough, but because they haven't played in the open tournaments, and that's like the top level of the tournament, they get unnoticed. They're not noticed as much as these high level teams. So, you have coaches like myself and other coaches throughout the conference will get that diamond in the rough to go out there and train them to the best of our ability so that they can be stars here at our level.
Now, with that being said, and to remind those that are listening, we're speaking with the head volleyball coach of the Lady Jaguars of Southern University, and that is Coach Vanessa Jacobs. Now, Coach, we hear and we see, and I'm glad that you are bringing a different perspective to this on the club volleyball and club ball period. Now, with that being said, is this also a tool that could be used to help you with your current players that you have on board with you at Southern University as far as being instructors or even getting more training in?
Well, I really utilize club to help train the younger kids, those kids who want to make their middle school teams or the kids who want to make their high school teams. Until we are able to grow the sport here in Louisiana or specifically Baton Rouge, in order to get the top-level kids that I'm looking for, it's, my job is to train. I'm not here to make, $1 million. I know I want to bring the best student athlete we can here at Southern, and if the kids are within my club, then definitely I have the inside scoop to the parents, and they know who I am as a coach. But it's not, I don't look at it that way as to a coach club just to bring this particular kid into our school or university.
Absolutely. And I guess I may have addressed it wrong. Do you use your current players to help you out with your club training?
The ones who are able to get jobs and they express that they'd like to work, I will definitely let them know about not just the club that I work for or work with. I tell them about all the different clubs in the area, so that we're not together 24/7, if you will.
I do understand, because you do have to be careful, I guess, with NCAA rules and regulations and this, that, and the other. I forgot all about that part.
And for me, I like for our kids to coach younger kids, and I love when they come back to me and say, "Coach, they won't listen. Coach, I can't get them to do this. Coach, what kind of drills can we do when we're working on passing?" And I quickly remind them, do the drills that we do in practice. Look how you've progressed so much. And so it just kind of makes them laugh. And to have that dialogue with your kids, knowing that they've coached a kid who is, for lack of better words, not as disciplined as we'd like for them to be, then they get to come to me and, talk it out. And then I just give them different ways of how to handle those situations or those kids. And it's fun. And so when we get back to practice, it's like, no, remember we talked about this. Remember you were telling me about Annie and the difficulty you had with her? I'm not going to have those kind of difficulties with you, correct? And so it's fun. It really is fun.
On-the-job training, and it deals with not only their sport but life, because everything can be a teachable moment and a coach-up opportunity. So
yes.
That's an awesome thing. That's an awesome thing. We're talking with Coach Jacobs of the Southern Jaguars volleyball squad, who ended up as the number 2 seed, number 2 seed in the West, number 3 overall throughout the conference, with a strong, impressive 12-6 conference record and 14-14 overall. Now, Coach, you said something earlier about the particular girl that you're looking for. Now, with your pedigree of being an LSU SEC conference volleyball player and the head lady in charge at Southern now for the last 4 years, I think you would agree with this comment I'm about to make, that the conference, for whatever reason or reputation, has a tendency to draw the student athlete who would be on that 1 to 3 star rating on a 5-star plan. Now, with that being said, we always shoot for the 5s, but how important is it to have a system that is adjustable and flexible to fit those particular 1 to 3 star players and still have success?
Well, for us over here at Southern, we're looking for a student athlete who is coachable, whether they are a 1-star player or a 5-star player. If you're not coachable, we really don't want you in our program, quite honestly, because it takes up so much time and energy. When everyone else is pulling right and you're pulling left, it hurts the program. So we look for kids, and we go out and recruit kids and look at them at AAU tournaments. That are they being good teammates? Are they really kind to their parents? Are they, how are they reacting when their coaches are talking to them during a timeout? Or if they get taken out of the game because they're not performing to standard, what is their demeanor? Those are the non-tangibles that I look for here at Southern, because if you can do those things under pressure and be a good teammate, then we can work with you. We can work with anything. A 5-star player who is a horrible teammate wouldn't make it in our program. A 1-star player who is an amazing teammate, she can grow to be that 4-star player that we need her to be because she's so coachable.
Well, that makes the old saying come so true, that hard work beat talent when talent won't work hard.
That's correct.
And that is a very positive and forward way of thinking and moving. Now, with that you say, we look at some of your numbers, and very impressive, if I might add, and stressing to me, at least from my little vantage point and understanding, that with you being the first team, on the top team in digs, that you put a lot of emphasis on defense, and you were number 2, if I'm not mistaken, in blocks in the conference. So you put a lot of stress on defense, correct?
We do. We have phases of our season, but preseason is all about ball control and defense, and learning the defensive schemes that we will work, and learning the tendencies of our opponent. So without giving up all my secrets, we definitely spend a lot of time working defense. and it's not just our defensive players, our liberos and defensive specialists. It's everyone from the middle blocker who thinks her job is to only block and hit. We definitely need them to play defense, and to see where they've come from in such a short period of time. It really makes the training go by fast. The hours go by quicker than anything, and it's awesome to see them. I love seeing the light come on and having them understand, and then work the particular skill, and we call them emergency moves, because it doesn't matter. Like, volleyball is very simple, as it was told to me. Just don't let the ball hit the floor on your side of the net.
It doesn't get any simpler than that.
It couldn't be any simpler than that. So we work really hard on keeping the ball up, keeping your body between the floor and the ball. So
very good. Now, something that I don't see a lot of, and you ask some people about it, some of them look at you like they don't even know what you're talking about, but I'll throw it out here for you. Do you see many pancake digs from your coaching?
As a dig, like if somebody's hitting the ball and there's a lot of velocity behind it, not necessarily, they don't put their hand out as a pancake, but if it's a tip or a roll shot and our kid is really far away from the ball, she sprints and she gets on that floor, she slides and puts that hand out. Yes, we definitely work pancakes. Okay,
well, I'll give you an A for efforts, because I was like, man, pancake, what are you talking about? I'm not hungry right now. So, But it's
Basically, you
really a
put
lost art.
your hand is sliding on the floor, and it's as flat as you can make it. From your hand to your wrist to your elbow, everything is on the floor.
Yes.
So when the ball hits it, it just pops straight up.
Yes. Now, you're talking about the building a program, and I'll ask you this question. In all fairness, I've asked your comrades the same question, but you're going to get the easier approach. I guess I'm going to ask this. In developing your program, how important is nutrition?
Oh, gosh. Nutrition is absolutely important. It is one of the number one aspects of our sport that we talk about, from nutrition and the proper amount of sleep. Because if you don't have those two, then you can't really train your kids the way you need to and have them sustain the level of training that we will do, especially in the beginning of the season in preseason camp.
So now here comes the loaded question.
Oh, Lord.
It's fantasy question now, so anything goes. I'm going to award you $1 million strictly for volleyball to build your program. How do you spend the money?
Wow, that's awesome. I would say a facility. I would say in that facility we'd have a fueling station and really have a dietitian to where we are really talking about nutrition and like your eating habits. I don't spend a lot of time talking about eating habits. They spend a lot of the time with their trainer talking about their eating habits and, whether they're coming together as what their muscles are looking like.
You got it. You answered the question that I was looking for, or you came up with the answer that I was looking for.
Okay. Because
of the fact we ask, and facilities is always the number one thing that pops out of everyone's mouth. Facilities, facilities, facilities. But I really believe there are three components that help winning teams become champion teams. And that is facilities, a system, and nutrition. And the reason I say that is that there is an opportunity to get these student athletes and change some of their eating habits that could change some of their life expectancies and create new circles for their new families in the next generation to help break some of these bad eating habits that many of our kids come to and develop on when they're in their young adult stages of life.
Yeah, that's true. Diabetes is so prevalent nowadays that if you are not controlling what you put in your mouth, you're so susceptible to that. So for us, our kids, they don't eat fried foods during the season, and they stay away from cold drinks. Those
cold
are my
drink?
two. Yes. Well, soda, pop.
Well, I'm just saying, what about cold water?
Well, I'm sorry, soda.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, Coach. That's
well, in the South they say cold drink. I say soda. Some people say pop. So
yes, I'm a northern kid. We call them pops. So I do understand.
Or should I say carbonated drinks?
Carbonated drinks. There you go. We're speaking right now with Coach Vanessa Jacobs, head volleyball coach of the Southern Jaguars, who ended up 12-6, which was enough for the second spot in the West, third overall throughout the conference. Coach, bring us up to speed of some of your returning players and some players that you're adding to the fold for the 2017 campaign.
Well, we are returning our setter, Levatera Calais. She learned a lot in the last 2 seasons, how to get up to speed to what we're looking for. We've worked on some things in the spring, and we're very excited to be able to introduce it to everyone once they get on campus, our incoming kids. And then we have one of our strongest outside hitters that I think I've ever had the pleasure of working with, Shelby Jolly out of Houston, Texas. And when I tell you she is strong and she can hit the ball, and I'm just so blessed to be able to have her in our program. And she's been training very hard. She is a delight to train, very coachable, and wants to do everything right. So we have her coming back, and she has 3 more seasons with us. And then we have Paige Hall, who was an all-conference middle blocker, will come back and work hard for us. We have Brianna Hawkins out of Arizona, who is a left-hander. We've worked on a couple of her different shots, so we're excited to see her, work those next season. Then we have Troy Jefferson from Houston, Texas, who's a defensive specialist. We have not named a libero just yet, but we definitely have Troy in the front running for that. We have a young lady by the name of Samira Muhammad, who is a defensive specialist and, came out kind of shy and quickly realized that, shy gets you nowhere in our gym. So she's been working really hard to grab that defensive specialist position to be on the court. And then we have a young lady, Mariah Clayton, who is our lone senior, who's been with us and just been a true rock. When I tell you coachable, that's who she is. She does she's a defensive specialist. She does every move right. If I could train all of my kids the way I've trained her, or clone her rather, then I would say, okay, I want you to be like Mariah. So, and she's definitely going to be on the court. We just don't know if she'll be in that libero position or the defensive specialist position. So those are the kids we have coming back this particular year. Great host of incoming freshmen.
Very good, very good. Now, Coach, let us get up to speed on your non-conference schedule that you have scheduled for this year.
We have 4 tournaments, and this is actually the first time that we've played in all 4 non-conference tournaments. We'll go to the University of Texas at Arlington tournament the first weekend, and then we'll follow that up with the Lamar tournament, where we definitely will play one of our conference rivals, Texas Southern. And the third weekend, we'll go to University of Central Arkansas and have a blast over there. And then we'll finish up our preseason conference at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So we have a pretty tough preseason.
I was going to say, that's a pretty tall order you got lined up there, Coach.
Yes, we get into, if you play a preseason schedule that's not as difficult, then you'll go into the season with a big head and a great record and think that you're going to be able to run the gamut, and that's just not so. The SWAC has changed so much in the last few years, and with the new coaches on board, they're doing some things. It's funny when you go out recruiting and you find out that you're recruiting the same kids. It's like, oh, okay, I need to find another kid. I want to find kids that are not being recruited by, any of the coaches in the SWAC. But we all looking for that great talent, whether it's a diamond in the rough or a kid that just took too long to decide where they wanted to go. That's going to be, it's going to be an amazing season, and we want to continue to stay, at the top of the conference. That's our goal until we are able to win. And then once we're able to win, just, keep winning. You find a way to win.
Now, we know budgets rule all, and they control a lot of what can and what cannot happen. How difficult does budget play in your recruiting factor?
We are pretty strategic in our recruiting. So we get a lot of our kids to come out as juniors, early juniors or sophomores, to get on our campus, to get the feel of our campus and the, what goes on, especially in the fall. It's so much fun. There's so much that the kids can't take it in. And so we just continue to keep in touch with those kids and make those offers to them as early as possible. And some of them will commit very early, and some of them won't. But the ones who don't, and we bring them back on officials.
We're speaking with volleyball coach of the Southern Jaguars, Coach Vanessa Jacobs. Now, Coach, I want to give you an opportunity to speak to that person who may be listening to this interview right now who is aware of volleyball but not as detailed aware of a person of your status would be. How would you sell them on the sport volleyball?
You know, I sell them on me as a person, and then I sell them on volleyball, because I believe you have to love or like a lot your coach. And if you like your coach a lot, you'll do just about anything for them within reason. And from there, you know, you grow that relationship. And as you're coaching them, you develop that relationship that's long-lasting. So for me, I love to talk to the players that were here in 2009 when I first attended Southern, or, you know, started coaching here. I love talking to the kids in 2010. I love knowing about the ones who've gotten married and getting pictures and, you know, invitations to weddings and, oh, I just had my baby, you know, baby showers and things like that. That's when you know that you're doing a good job as a coach, and it's not just about the sport. I sell them on me.
Very good, very good. Coach Vanessa Jacobs of the Lady Jaguars. Coach, how do you feel about this Sunday, Monday format and the conference with their new approach now?
Well, you know, I can adapt to just about anything. I think it's going to be interesting, but it's something that we are going to do, and I approach everything with an open mind, and I like to be happy, so I'm going to work this. Both of my children are no longer in high school, so, you know, the Sunday, Monday will be just fine with me.
Very good, very good. Well, Coach, we want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be a part of us here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network and helping us complete our SWAC volleyball tour. To remind the listeners that you will be able to listen exclusively on Thursdays. That's the date we have targeted right now when the fall season tips off for the volleyball season, and you'll be able to listen to all the coaches' roundups, players of the week interviews, and so much more right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Coach, is there anything you would like to share as we get ready to shut down this segment?
I just want to thank you for allowing me to be on your open mic.
Well, you are very welcome, and the open mic is always open to you. So how's that?
That's perfect. Go Jags.
All right, Coach Vanessa Jacobs of the Lady Jaguars. I am Dr. Mike Prince, also known as the Radio Guy. Until the next time, be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.